It's all nice on ice, all right. It's all nice. It's all nice. It's all nice on ice, all off. It is Monday, January 8th, 2024 AD. And we're having a fun show. Let me just make sure my Rumble connects with the Hake. Toggle on. 9:01 a.m. Ba-bum. A new start. It is new beginnings, guys. It's 9:04 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time. It's all nice on ice, all right. Hopefully we're going. Press 1 if it's good. Press 2 if it's bad. Again, it's 9:05 a.m. here in Los Angeles, Pacific Standard Time. Monday, January 8th, 2024 AD. And I'm getting ones. Thank you, guys. Jubilee on the stream. Shout out to Nick, the American anchor, baby. Coming through, making it happen along with Hassan over here, the dynamic duo. So what we'll be talking about today, if you didn't catch it, a white man lost to a black woman in an impromptu race. Well, she was just working out, and he decided to race her. And he was her boyfriend's friend or her brother's friend. I forget. Sort of an amusing little video I'll share with you guys. A hole popped open in a plane, but no one was sucked out. I thought that you get sucked out. 3, it's weird, says Tim Scott, the real one. Sorry. Pardon the issues. What else will I cover? You know, some other stuff in the news and things from last week that I wanted to touch on, okay? But anyway, guys, let's get right on, because I have to end on time. Joel Friday is coming up with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. It's Monday. Everybody loves Mondays, especially female Mondays. Shout out to the Jesse Lee Peterson show, who had just introduced Female Monday along with his producer extraordinaire, who may become, if Greenwald gets his wish, a supporter of the Jesse Lee Peterson show, even if Hake, our moon correspondent. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be what Hake started calling dope. I'm fine. I'm wearing my Henley shirt. Thank you to Hassan for educating me on what this shirt is called. It has buttons on it, but no actual, like, flipping collar. And I'm not cussing when I say flipping. I mean a collar that can pop up. So, you can call in 1-888-775-3773. Pardon the rough beginning there. You know, it happens. But we are putting together, by we, I mean Bill the engineer and the genius American anchor baby, putting together solutions, and thank you for the support. So this is funny to me. You guys think you could beat a woman? You men, you think you could beat any woman at anything? I saw this on X. Matt Walsh blog posted this on X, formerly known as Twitter. A dude with no experience in track rolled off his couch and held his own against a D1 female athlete, track star, I mean. This proves exactly the opposite of what you're trying to prove. And he quote tweets an X account, a blogger called Track Spice. a female D1 track star. D1 is presumably NCAA Division I college athlete. Track star Alana Sabakhan. Alana Sabakhan raced a man who insisted he could beat her. The result is going viral, and this Track Spice account shares this TikTok video from Lana Zak, this Alana, whatever her last name is. And this gal states, just to clarify, I did not want to race this man. Laughing face emoji with tears coming out. I was already at the track with my boyfriend, BF, doing a workout, and he came to join. Hashtag track and field, hashtag running. And I have this clip 11, I believe, in the folder there, Hassan. Check this out. This woman kind of narrates over herself. It's almost confusing because she's talking over herself. And the replies are kind of interesting. I'll get to the replies in a second. You see one of the replies if you're watching the video. Because it's a white man versus a black woman. And in this video, the white man looks neck and neck with her at first and then gets smoked. Check it out.
I am a D1 track athlete. You about this one time I, for some reason, raced my boyfriend's friend over 400 meters. He refused to believe that a woman could beat him in a race. He does not run, but he challenged me to 400 meters. And I only agreed because I was doing a 400 workout already, so I was like, sure, join me. Then he ended up bringing both his parents, his family, his friends, and I was like, what the heck did I get myself into? But to narrate what went down, I just ran the first 200 meters with him. I just stayed with him. I'm not exerting myself for no reason. I have nothing to prove here. If you're crazy enough to challenge a 400, 800 athlete to a 400 race, that's on you. I'm not going to correct you. And then since he does not run at all, his lack of fitness really hit him hard after 200 meters. And I was like, okay, let me just go now. And then as you should always do, I finish hard because that's what you do as a track runner. And this was also one of the reps of my 400 workouts.
So she's
I'm
pulling
just
away
doing my
from
workout here. So yeah, there's me pushing hard. Actually,
and he looks like Michael Johnson.
And then
he pulled a hamstring.
Yeah, so the gap was widening. I actually ended up running 57 for this, which is pretty good for practice.
She ran 57 or he ran 57? I think at first it said they actually ran 57. Is she referring to him, her as a he, him as a they? No. I think she might have said I actually ran a 57, which is not bad for practice. Why is this notable? Asks Matthew. Well, I'll tell you in a second. Great TikTok propaganda, says Matthew. So he didn't run the 57 because he was gassing at the end. He was tying up. She felt a little bit of what she called lactic acid, which I think means you're getting stiff, you're getting tight. You feel it in your legs. I feel like this is an L for the dude, honestly. Brought his parents. He probably binge watches Daily Wire and watches trans propaganda 14 hours a day. LOL, says Kevin Howe. Whatever, Kevin Howe. Shout out to Spoiler Alert. Sharing the link of the tweet, first tweet that I read in the chat. Not bad, not bad. They both looked great. Was he wearing sweatpants or was he wearing jeans? Because he was wearing long pants of some sort. But she kicked at the end and pulled away from him. And then that kind of breaks your spirit because you get. I've run before. I've run the 400, the 800. I mostly ran the mile and the 2 mile also, and of course like 3 miles and stuff like that. 4 miles in community college, 5 miles in NAIA university. I was not NC2A, so I didn't run the 6 mile. Why is there a mini Hake? Oh, that's funny. Good question. Nice. Just a fun story. She meant it as a fun story, but it's going kind of viral, and the replies are getting kind of nasty. Show that one that you were just showing, the tweet. There was one person who posted this. Sita. It's Sita. This likely encapsulates the notion of I'm a white male and I should excel at everything because I've been consistently told so. Better than anything I've seen in a while, says this black female purportedly, or, you know, POC female, WOC, woman of color, Sita. Oh, she might be Indian. Because is that an India flag? Somebody educate me. Where did she get that idea of I'm a white male and I should excel at everything because I've been consistently told so? Where did she get that idea? Does she know a lot of white males who told her that they were consistently told they should excel at everything? I don't know. Seems like projection or something like that on me, to me. But that caught my attention. I was like, huh. Was I consistently told that I'd excel at everything? I was told, or I felt like I was told that I'd be good at running, for example. Because my family members ran, and I had older siblings, a father. So that's that. Was that because I'm white? That I was told I'm a white male and I should excel at everything? I don't know if I expected to excel at everything. It was okay at school, you know, academically. I don't know. Maybe it's a white thing. I remember my school principal when I was in 7th and 8th grade and that's junior high over here in California. And elementary school, our boomer, no, he might have been older than boomer, school principal would say, we're the best about the school. We act properly because we're the best. Like, we're the best, okay. Nice, we're the best. I went to a Royal Cross Country. That was my high school. I just doxed my high school, darn. And they were the best. They were national champions 12 years before I was a senior in high school. National champions, wow. So they were always good. But I don't know if that's a white thing. Maybe it is a white thing. Another reply, number 2 there, Hassan. Hundun, Honeygoo, I don't know if I want to read this out loud, this person's username, or at. White men in their audacity have them confidently believing they can outrun a trained runner is about right. Wow. These people are projecting all their imaginations about how white people's mindset is. A lot of men think that they could beat women. So, this person says it's only white people? That's crazy. Laughing faces emojis with tears coming out. Hundun says, it's not. I should have widened my statement to include all men. LBVS. Anybody know what that means? LBVS? Do you know what that means? LBVS? That maybe she meant OBVS, obviously. Somebody help me out. If you know what that means. That little LBVS. Or is that short for my bag? Can't stand Twitter, says Ivana. Okay, I kind of like Twitter. Okay, moving on to number 3. If they could bottle and sell white boy confidence, quote unquote, they'd make a fortune because that stuff is crazy. That is some crazy stuff. FR, for real. FR is short for real for the boomers at Hake. And somebody replied, that must have gotten a lot of people's goats. A whole lot of people liked it. 1.2 thousand people liked that reply. Per the responses, your comment hit the white community hard, laughing face with sweat coming down the brow. Oh, laughing but very serious, says spoiler alert. Thank you. LBVS, laughing but very serious. Nice. Hey, you're a boomer. Twitter is a dumpster, says Charlie Church. Yeah, but how about X? No, X is a dumpster as well. But I like you reading replies because it just tells you how the people are thinking. They don't necessarily have to censor themselves. I did notice that there was something in me that wanted to react and reply and defend the whites, my fellow whites and myself, when that one person said, I'm a white male and I should excel at everything because I've been consistently told so. Look at the guy's form. He looks like he's not doing too bad. We're looking at a picture of his... At first, I was thinking that he ran a 57. A 60-second quarter mile for someone who doesn't train or less than 60 seconds is pretty good, I say. My fastest quarter was maybe my freshman year, because I only remember running it then. It was like 57, I guess. So I ran a 57. I ran as fast as her on her training. I might have been able to go faster, but I didn't train for that. I trained for the mile. But you have to be able to train for that for a mile, because some people run a mile in 4 minutes, which is 4 400s. Roughly. So, good job to the gal. Good, not too bad for the guy. Let me read one more thing, one more anti-white comment. Per the responses, your comment hit the white community hard. Because that's white boy confidence. Crazy thing is, I'm white, I'm just a woman, says this person who seems to be like a K-pop fan. For some odd reason, I'm gathering that she's a K-pop fan. Sierra Nicole. I'm white, I'm just a woman, but going through law school. Oh, she's bragging about going through law school. She just throws that in there. Oh, going through law school. There were so many times white guys would stand up and say the dumbest stuff like it was literal words of a prophet, says this woman. And I'm not sure I trust her judgment on what is dumb. Because people say that Jesse says dumb stuff when it's truth. Brilliant. Kevin Howe is banned on X. He's banned by all the best stuff. Banned from Asmodor, banned from X. You're just a loser. Just kidding, Kevin Howe. You're not a loser because you're in Hake chat. That's where the real winners congregate. The snake pit. Like it was literal words of a prophet, and I'd think, what I'd do for an ounce of that entitlement, she calls it. Entitlement. That's a liberal buzzword, entitlement. They've just never had to go through life questioning whether they were entitled to space or authority or attention or the benefit of the doubt. Sounds like this gal has a lot of insecurity. White boys, she says. If she's going to law school, it wouldn't be boys, it would be young men. And many of the whites would be Jewish, by the way. Just FYI, side note. Will serve on the executive board of their fraternity. Club. I guess it's a college thing. And then run for mayor. It's not about race, it's about their millennia of power, thousands of years of power. Like anybody who lives millennia, except for Jesus and maybe Enoch and other people like that. You know, nobody lives from millennia. Lady. Speaking of saying the dumbest stuff, like it was literal words of a prophet, this lady, in the social hierarchy and getting to live in a society built for them. FUBU, for us, by us. FWUB, for whites, by whites. Sorry. But white boys are also the most fragile. Fragile when people get that out. So it has its downsides, I guess. Haha. I don't know how she's able to tweet that long of a tweet. That's a long post on X. I guess nowadays they let anybody post long posts on X. That looks more than 240 characters to me. Mr. Pink is congregating with the winners like Charlie Church and Kevin Howe and Misty. Right on. So it was funny watching myself watch how the blacks were and this white girl, she called us white boys, so I'm going to call her a girl, talking about us like that. It was kind of interesting, amusing. I didn't reply because I knew that it was the ego that wanted to reply and be like, we don't think we're the best. And confidence is fun. That was a fun moment. You're welcome. On behalf of that fellow white man. And I don't know if he was even a normal white. You know, it's funny too. Last quick point on this, and then I'll move on, guys, promise. Matthew says Twitter is mildly not morally straight. I don't know if I've given you any moral to the story, Matthew. A woman once told Hake, "You will always be one who goes out and exercises and works out and stays fit and healthy, because that's who you are." And boy, was that a lie. Remember I told you that story where I got out of shape and then I hurt my back? Spinal. Guess that wasn't who I am. I knew at the time that she told me this gal who told me that story. Might have been a mother. That didn't make sense. Who you are to go out and exercise, it's not who you are. It's not who you're not your body, you're not your habits, you're not your tendencies, you're not your interests. It's not who you are. And I sure proved her wrong, didn't I? I'm like remedial fitness levels right now. I barely do like 2 sets of 10 now. I'm up to 2 sets of 10 push-ups. It's quality, not quantity. At first I do fingertips and then flat, but that kind of hurts my wrists a little bit. So I go fists, and I noticed I had to cut my fingernails. And then I just do open fists where I can like squish them and not be cutting into my fingernails. Nice. Why can't people just have fun? Let's race. I bet I can beat you. That's what happened, Ivana. And then everybody, the peanut gallery. Look at Hake's arms, ma'am. I rest my case. What do you mean? Not too bad? See? Let me not stress my veins and arteries by straining. But yeah, remedial fitness levels. Not too bad in the intellect, but remedial fitness. I'm like the opposite of a black, who are remedial intellect, but a gym rat, very fit. So Hake and the blacks relate. Because we're remedial, everybody's remedial in something, right? All right. Nice, huh? Wasn't that kind of fun? Okay, let's move on to some real stories. I don't have any picture of this, unfortunately, but a hole popped open in a plane. Maybe on American Anchor Baby you'll see this story. So I don't want to suck out his thunder. But Commie Nonsense Network CNN reported on Sunday that federal investigators were searching for the missing piece of an Alaska Airlines aircraft's fuselage that blew off mid-flight. I saw a headline and it said, "The cabin became depressurized." That's not a very attention-grabbing headline. That doesn't mean anything to most people. Depressurized. What? Oh, you could have written a better headline, Yahoo. A hole blew open in the middle of the plane, right next to where someone was sitting. Or not right next, but 2 seats over. Nobody was sitting right immediately there. Fortunately, I guess. And it wasn't even an emergency door. The emergency door did not pop off. It was just a Porsche, you know, the window and that whole panel like next to your seat. If you're on a plane, you ever been on a plane? The whole thing popped off. And you could see the night sky, the stars, maybe some stuff on the ground because the plane had to do an emergency landing. I remember watching the Batman cartoon, Batman the animated series, the best Batman one thing. And I think the Man-Bat, not to be confused with Batman, blew off part of a hole in this plane. It might have been a different type of a plane. And the woman almost got sucked out and a whole bunch of stuff was getting sucked out. So apparently that wasn't happening on this Boeing 737 MAX 9 aircraft. Maybe the people were buckled in. The stewardess was secured so she didn't get sucked out of the hole in the plane. I remember Batman had to be like holding like that. I did that. I did a pose for the, maybe for the thumbnail. That was totally a cartoon, Hake says, maybe 42. So Alaska Airlines, and it was Alaska Airlines. Of course, I checked the airlines, and it was Alaska Airlines. And I'm not surprised because Alaska Airlines, I'm told by ladies, is cheap. You can wait around for a flight to Washington State, and we're down here in Southern California. That's whole 2 states away, big states, not just these piddly little New England states that you take 5 big steps and you're in a whole nother state. No, this is I'll have to go all the way through NorCal, and the bat was wearing pants. Oh yeah. When it was not to spoil it, when it was a girl, it was wearing pants, but when it was I think it was a guy, right? On Leather Wings is that episode, says the North Star. Yeah, so Alaska Airlines, $90. Might even be round trip. So, hey, and Alaska Airlines may be even cheaper still. Every Alaska Air flight I've been on was nice AF, America First. Kids don't say AF, even though Hake is saying that it stands for America First. Because it doesn't necessarily mean that America First. So, yeah, Alaska Airlines has always been a fine experience with me, too. Unlike Spirit Air, it's even been nicer than Southwest Airlines, which you pick your own seats in Southwest. So, yeah, I don't know if Alaska Air, whole lot of airlines are having to cut corners. Nobody was hurt, I guess, or nobody was killed on this incident. It was a Boeing 737 MAX 9, and the FAA downed all of those airplanes. And I don't know if it has anything to do with the design or manufacture, maybe, of the Boeing 737 MAX 9. I don't know how old this plane was, because maintenance matters, right? Although if poor maintenance won't make a whole section pop off, will it? I don't know. But I'm just saying, it seems like nowadays, stuff isn't made like they used to. Lower quality. That's why we can't go to the moon now. Because back in the days, stuff was made in America, not to thump too hard here, with it was quality stuff. The steel was stronger, or whatever. Nowadays, people are like, oh, somebody else is looking out for it. Good enough. I worked with a general contractor at one point. I think he was a general contractor. Spoiler alert, read that this plane was new, just a couple months after it was produced. Yeah, that's why you don't necessarily get those new model cars, because they might have problems. You have to wait until they have a couple of runs, new year, to iron out the little weaknesses. Oh, this was made out of plastic. We got to make it out of a different thing this time, or a stronger plastic, or whatever. But yeah, good enough for government work is what this general contractor would say. Good enough for government work. I've worked with Mexicans and others say, it's fine. We'll Mickey Mouse it together. This is wrong, but we'll make it look right on the outside. Just don't let them look too closely. So, hey. I actually unbanned him, Nugget Man. I actually unbanned him, I think. But he may get himself right-banned back again, because he can't contain himself. Oh, there he is. He's unbanned. He may get himself banned again because he can't help but bother my best mod. So you could, best mod, you feel free to ban him if you want, if you need to. Referring to a person in the chat who was acting up for some odd reason. The lunar lander looks like a homeless tweaker shelter, Hake. Hey, the homeless tweakers nowadays, it's not like they're lazy. They're just lazy about doing the right things that they should do, but they're not lazy about doing the wrong things that they want to do, that the evil ego wants them to do. It has them doing all kinds of work. Tweaker engineers, tweaker architects, says Nick, the American anchor baby. So there's a whole bunch of flight cancellations and mess. Whew. I wonder what I flew when I went to SF, San Fran. They're a talented bunch. Tweaker interior designers and chefs. Yeah. Even the good kids are on drugs nowadays, so-called. Younger millennials and Zoomers and even the older people. Now, I don't endorse it. I disavow it. Drugs and stuff like that. But just saying. And they do have sometimes poor attention, so they may have missed something. So, yeah. That's how even the old white stuff did. It didn't necessarily look pretty, but it got the job done. You know, just like the old white NBA basketball players. They weren't as flashy and stylish and smooth necessarily as these blacks who are doing this newfangled jungle ball, but they had the basics down, and they got it done. Nice. Doesn't have to be so stylish always. Moving on, the so-called Supreme Court. This is ridiculous, and I don't even care about it. The U.S. Supreme Court, according to CNN Commie Nonsense Network on Sunday, said that they will review the Colorado so-called Supreme Court's decision, the state Supreme Court's decision, to remove our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, from that state's ballot and scheduled oral arguments for a whole month from today, February 8th. Did you know that it's spelled February? Kids knew that. February 8th. So good for them. Good for you, Trump. It's going all the way to the U.S. so-called Supreme Court. I have confidence that they'll make the right decision. I heard one person say you could write in Trump if you're in Colorado and want to vote in the primary for Trump, but that may not be necessary because the so-called Supreme Court of the United States will probably fix that decision. Over in, what was the other state that did that? Somewhere in New England. Another purportedly white female Secretary of State made the decision. And she's so phony. I talked about that last week, I think. The court will also, this so-called Supreme Court of the United States of America, Supreme, court supremacy, court inferiority. The court will also decide whether emergency room doctors can perform what CNN calls, listen to this euphemism. I don't understand this. Whether emergency room doctors can perform medically necessary abortions in states that prohibit them. By them, I don't know what you mean. Bypassing the Court of Appeals to resolve an expedited basis. What do you mean by medically necessary abortions? Idaho, for example. Idaho has a lot of decent people have moved up to Idaho. Conservatives. Real Vincent James, I believe, moved up to Idaho from Orange County, California. Not to dox his state. That's just what I heard. I don't know. But he's a solid guy. And many other solid people, I think, have moved to Idaho. Beautiful state. I've been to Boise. Kind of a college town. But it feels safe. At least it did about 10 years ago. The second major abortion case the court will consider this year amid the fallout from reversal of Roe v. Wade in 2022. Idaho's Defensive Life Act is a near total ban on aborsh, I call it. And I got that from my former de facto producer. Dial on. But there is an exception to prevent the mother's death, okay? An exception to prevent the mother's death. Life of the mother. Makes sense. The law imposes penalties on doctors who perform prohibited abortions unless the physician determined in good faith medical judgment and based on the facts known to the physician at the time that the abortion was necessary to prevent the death of the pregnant woman. Physicians who violate the law could face criminal penalties. So what is this? Evil Biden administration sued. Evil Biden administration sued. And I'm not saying this law is right or wrong. I don't know. I wasn't behind it. And I know that there's a whole lot of phony, lame-o, rhino Republicans who stand up, act like they're all tough on abortion and trans kids, and then don't stand up on anything else. They pretend racism is real and continue to cater to women and kiss up to the destruction of men and all that stuff. They're not actual solid people. There's a provision of a federal so-called Medicare statute, the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, EMTALA, preempts Idaho's law on emergency rooms. This federal statute requires hospitals to provide stabilizing care to emergency room patients regardless of their ability to pay. Wow. I say wow as if I disagree with that. I'm not sure if I disagree with it. I don't know if it's a law. It needs to be a law. As if these people wouldn't, for the most part, do what they can for a patient, you know? It was enacted, whether or not they can pay. It was enacted to ensure that poor and uninsured receive emergency medical care at hospitals receiving Medicare reimbursement. Oh, Lord. See, these federal subsidies, they get their hooks in and then you're on their hook. They control you because you're taking money from them. So I don't know this. I don't know what they mean by medically necessary. Medically necessary. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, they don't even define what medically necessary is. Great job, CNN. DeVan black writer with glasses. I'm looking at this writer. He looks young, stylish. But I think it's a man. DEVAN. Okay. So that's the update on that. I thought that would get more information on bad audio again. Okay, pardon the bad audio. Pardon the bad audio. In the meantime, let me give you a screenshot of this headline with this Devan Cole. Seems fixed now, says American Anchor Baby. Thank you, American Anchor Baby, for looking out. I put in a screenshot of this headline, and you can zoom in on that Devan Cole guy. Just called screenshot. Medically necessary. There's other news that I hope to get to. There's this Democrat black female attorney general who's pretending like she's looking out for NRA supporters. I don't buy it. I do not buy it. Nice screenshot. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think we're back. It looks good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. American Anchor Baby and Hassan. I was just talking about. Oh, can you show that? Are you able to show the screenshot?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know what medically necessary abortions is. They don't. They may explain it, but they don't use that phrase, and I don't feel like reading the article. After the NRA, we'll talk about Mark Cuban and other callers.
Yeah, they were back.
Okay, press 1 if we're good. I think we're back, guys. Nice. Yes, indeed. Okay. So, guys, I finished that story about medically necessary abortions, and I got to Mark in California, who wanted to talk about Mark Cuban, not to be confused with Mark from California, who is not a Christian. He didn't know that. but he's not a Christian. But yeah, and he's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He's this billionaire guy or something like that. A liberal, a softy, a go along to get along lame-o man who sometimes knows some things that are a little bit common sense, but he's a pushover. He's soft. He's weak, and he pretends to be tough. He's anti-Trump. And what did you want to talk about Mark Cuban with Mark from Los Angeles? Happy New Year again.
Thank you, sir. I basically recently, he's been, since this gay woman, I don't mean sexually gay.
Maxine
but the
Gay.
black
No,
woman
Maxine. Claudine Gay.
yeah, Claudine Gay, when she resigned after she made a fool out of herself.
Oh, yeah, she was the
Cuban,
black female president of Harvard University.
Yeah, the unqualified dummy.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban was angry because she resigned. He favors her, and he supports DEI.
Oh, yeah.
And he put out a post on X talking about how every corporation and company and business in the U.S. should force their employees to be colored and less white. Of course, he's a white hater.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk shot him down. He wrote a response to Cuban saying that, well, if you want something, I'm not going to be able to say this word for word, but in the response, he said, then why don't you hire Asian woman midget to play on the Mavericks? Why don't you practice what you preach? As far as I know, the Mavericks are about 90% black, the players.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's a fraud. He's a hypocrite, and so are anyone else who supports any type of quotas or affirmative action.
Yep.
They're hiring unqualified boobs to do jobs that are not qualified. I mean, look at this Austin, this clown.
Lloyd
general.
Austin.
Yeah, he was off and he was hospitalized, never told anybody. At the same time, Biden was on vacation. So we had the chief, I guess he's the chief
Oh,
of
yeah,
staff.
Biden was. I heard he got a nasty sunburn. Is that true? I don't know if that's true. But yeah, he was on vacation somewhere. So that's partly why Biden didn't hear about it. And Biden doesn't need to know anyway. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, but think about it. The commander-in-chief is on vacation and he's demented. And then you have Austin, who was hospitalized. Had we been attacked, who was gonna organize a resistance? You have an unstable president, and an affirmative action hire in Austin. He's about as dumb as a doornail. I mean, he's no Rear Admiral Cromwell. He's no Commander Rockwell.
Yeah, that's
he's
for
just
sure.
an affirmative action hire that is totally worthless. And that's who we've got defending our country.
He was not even. He did not even have the 7 years out separated from the military like defense secretaries are supposed to. They're supposed to be 7 years out of the military, but he was not. But they made an exception because he's black and liberal.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And that's what that attitude of hiring unqualified Negroes will bring America down, and it's bringing America down.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I never heard the follow-up on, over in, was it Memphis, Tennessee, where those black cops beat a male black? I think they killed him.
Yeah, they beat him to death. That was Tyree Nichols. Nichols. Yeah.
And they were affirmative action hires. My question is, what became of that? Did any of them go to jail?
I think they did. Yeah, I believe that they were charged, and some of them might be cooperating now. They were affirmative action because they were having a tough time getting police and getting black police, and so I think a lot of that was affirmative action. And the blacks are more likely to be brutal as officers or errantly fire guns. According to reports that I've heard. And it just makes sense because they're more likely to not be raised as well.
Well, sure. If you take it a step further, if you go to any black nation in Africa, I'm not pro-homosexual at all, but they're killing them. I mean, left to their own devices,
Oh, they go too overboard with the violence, huh?
It's not. I mean, that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
It's just evil. What they do is evil, and I'm not pro homo.
Right.
I don't.
Me neither. But doesn't mean you kill them.
Exactly. But I'm just using that as an example. Can you imagine the other evils that go on in these countries?
Yeah.
It's just what we hear about that's scary. But then you have this this mentality that infested the United States. You know, I heard, this creep on TV, Anderson Cooper. I can't stand him. He's over there bragging about whites becoming a minority, saying that this is a positive thing.
Yeah.
And if anybody doesn't like it, they're a white nationalist. Now, this man is not morally straight. He hates his own race, and he's got a platform on CNN to spew this poison.
Yeah.
And they're trying to keep Trump out of the election out of the running because they know the people are seeing through these demons. Even some of the Negroes are starting to see that Biden is not for them.
Yeah.
He's using them for votes only. And I just want to say this: if Trump doesn't get elected, I think the country's going to fall apart because the stock market is only being held together with the hope that Trump is going to win.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah. Trump even said it. He said that the stock market is waiting for me to get reelected to come alive again. They're basically just holding themselves together until this communist or whatever he is, Biden. Actually, he's too stupid to be a communist, but he's controlled by Obama.
Yeah.
And that's basically Satan. And that's why we've got to get rid of this guy, and all the evil that Biden has brought into the White House has got to be turned around. And like I say, I think that if Trump is not reelected and we get 4 more years of this demented idiot, America can't hold on. How much longer can we absorb all the invaders at the border and pay for it?
Right.
How much longer can this go on? It can't.
Yeah, and we're getting negative value from a lot of these people. Some people make themselves valuable, and some people do not, and they are a drain on society, a destructive force on society. And
I would say,
and the liberals enable the destructive force, and suck the life out of the constructive force.
Well, they're taxing us to the point of extinction.
Exactly.
And then we're going to be outnumbered by the third world if current trends continue, which means that communists and white haters will get the power, and they're going to probably censor you and the other conservatives that are out there telling the truth. What
they don't see is that the way to make the world better and help those people is not their way. I have a caller who wants to talk with you. Do you want to talk to Frederick from Los Angeles?
Yeah, I'll talk to him, but I hope it goes better than the last two.
Okay.
I mean, the last 2 guys I talked to had very low IQs.
Well,
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this man's IQ level, but he generally behaves himself pretty well. So, Frederick in Los Angeles, California, you're live with Mark in Los Angeles on the Hake Report.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Hank. Thanks for taking my call.
Morning.
Good morning. I was going to ask Mark, did he know that Mark Cuban sold Dallas and gave his employees $35 million in bonuses after he sold it?
He's still a scumbag.
Oh, okay, yeah. But he's a good businessman. That he owns other businesses than just that basketball team.
Well, that's okay. Then why doesn't he diversify the basketball team? Why are they 90% black? Why doesn't he have a midget Asian woman on the team? That's what Elon Musk asked.
If he believes in this diversity.
That would be affirmative action, Mark. That's what you're against.
I know, but Mark Cuban says that he's for it. Sorry, I jumped in there. I need to be the moderator.
Diversity, equality. Yeah, diversity and equality is not affirmative action. It's hiring
equity.
More than
it's
all
diversity,
white.
Equity, and inclusion. And equity is affirmative action on steroids.
Yep.
It's open discrimination.
Not. Okay, that's y'all's imagination.
People.
I got another question.
Okay.
If Trump don't get elected, you said the country is going to go bankrupt, or right?
I think there'll be an economic depression similar to the 1930s, and the crime rate is going to skyrocket.
Yeah, and the 30s didn't really have nasty crime like that we do today. Did they?
Let me ask you this.
And we didn't have the diversity problem that we have today.
With all the big motor companies just agreeing to these agreements with the unions, how is Trump going to not sell electric cars? How is he going to go away from selling electric cars and go away from all of this money?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me?
No, I say the major manufacturers, car manufacturers, they told Biden, we can't do this. We're losing money. Nobody wants these electric cars.
No, the government said you will be all electric. The government said you will be all electric by 2040, and that's a guarantee. So we're going to make you make them. Y'all going to guarantee these unions, and you're going to buy the other companies that buy batteries. They don't even buy more electric companies. That's union now.
What's your challenge on that?
The union car makers are union now. So they are going to make more electric. They are going to make money. They are paying their employees to make electric.
But what's your point? What's your point regarding Trump?
He's saying if Trump gets elected, we're going to go broke, and he's going to go backwards from the green standard. He's going to say you don't have to buy electric. He's going to say he's going to change the law where all of this money we invested, where they done spent, is going to go backwards, where you're going to make more gas cars, and we done wasted billions of dollars on electric. That's not going to help America.
Don't worry about that. Frederick from Los Angeles. I know the solution to that. If you don't mind my answering, Mark.
I'm asking Mark. Mark, Trump's going to break the economy.
All right, Mark.
He's going to go backwards from what we're already invested in forward.
Give him some common sense, Mark.
Okay, first of all, Trump was talking about the stock market crashing, and that's what I referred to. I didn't mention anything about the communist Green New Deal, because that's what it is. And that's what I was talking about. The economy will collapse if Biden wins again. And there's no way around it.
Hold on. Frederick, just let him finish. You can challenge about the signs, but
okay. I want to hear
maybe later. I don't know if I have time.
My question to him would be, how in the world can we sustain an open border with millions of invaders that are uneducated and hate America? Just because they're here doesn't mean they love us. How can we afford to keep those people with welfare, food stamps, and everything else they're getting, and continue to do this through 4 more years of Biden without breaking the system? Now, answer me that.
Because the Federal Reserve's print money, and the money system ain't even real, and we can go $60 trillion in debt. They don't worry about us going in debt. They can print money and buy us out of any recession we in. You're already in for uplifting the Jews. They make all the weapons over in Israel. They will make their money and start wars to sell their own weapons and charge their own prices. Are you retarded?
Whoa. Don't say the R word. Don't say the R word on this show. Shout out to the R word people.
There's not a non-Jewish presidential candidate. The whole United States is blind. They don't like them, but yet we don't even have a candidate to vote against them.
So your claim is that because we're on the Federal Reserve, everything is fake and we're going to be fine anyway?
Our dollar is not going to hold up to BRICS. I can tell you that. Once BRICS make their dollar and get their oil companies together and OPEC, Trump gonna take us back to gas cars. We're gonna be the only country that needs oil for our cars because China's gonna win the electric car race.
You think?
And Elon Musk, he's a racist.
I asked you about the economy. Is the economy going to collapse or no, Frederick?
No, the economy is not going to collapse. If Trump get in, maybe he'll shut it down and try to be martial law for the rest of his term.
If Trump gets in, will the economy less likely or more likely to collapse?
It's more likely to collapse with Trump.
Oh, Lord. All right. That's your insanity, Mark, from California.
He's going to give money to Israel.
You notice he didn't
fund that war with Iran. World War III would be definite with Trump.
He claimed that the Federal Reserve can subsidize with printed money the destruction of the country through our immigration and incompetence.
Yeah. Well, that basically what that means is the whole world can come here, and we'll just keep print and play money, and everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
He doesn't know economics, and he didn't answer my question.
Been going on.
Frederick, wait a minute. Whoa. You didn't answer the question about how we can continue to allow the third world to poison the American bloodline that we're paying for. How much longer can we do that?
Or do something. Is get along or do something. Y'all are court jesters. They waiting on y'all to react. They stirring the pot. They going to wait for you to lock yourself up. Go ahead out there with your patriots and think you're going to take America back. They got a place for you. And you're going to be making cheap labor in prisons. They're going to start. Listen.
You're babbling.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I've answered this question twice.
No, you're not.
They're printing fake money, and they want you to do something. Do something. What are you going to do about it? That's the question. So if you're not going to do nothing about it, be quiet.
Here's what you do. Okay, here's what you do about it.
And then I got to go. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mark. Last word, Mark.
Okay, you got to vote for Trump. You got to vote for Christians. You got to become a Christian, and you got to arm yourself to the teeth, because that's going to be the only thing left for us to do if these Marxists use the illegals to get power, because that's what they're here for.
Oh, you mean you will be defenseless?
Aren't here because they're seeking asylum. They're here as an invading army for the commie Democrats.
Right, them Jews. You're right. Them Jews gonna offer y'all Christians up. Y'all gonna be their first line of defense. I'm sorry to say it, but y'all arm yourself, because y'all gonna be fighting their wars for a long time. Have a good day, Hank.
Thank you, Frederick. Appreciate you. Take care.
Your kids will.
Okay, when you say they, who are you referring to?
The president that killed Soleimani, and we put him back in power, it's their turn to aim for America, because they want Trump for that and moving the embassy to Jerusalem. He's the most pro-Israel president we had.
I know, but he's also the biggest man of peace that we've had as a president.
Anyway, Salami deserved to die.
Maybe so, man.
I'm not pro-Israel. Okay, I'm not pro-Israel.
No, he's not, Frederick. He's quite anti-Israel.
If you vote for Trump, you are. Jared Kushner.
Well, that's one disagreement I have. No, I do disagree with. I disagree with Trump on that issue, but I am in no way, shape, or form pro-Israel. No way.
You are.
It's a bandit state, and it has no right to exist, okay?
Yeah.
How's that sound? Because that's how I believe.
That sounds like it ain't the norm. You sound based on that, but everything else, the people you vote for, is their actions don't speak with your words. That's all it is. The whole America,
give me an example.
All of the non-Israel speaking people, they vote for the most Israel president. The kisses all the way.
All right, I think I'm done, guys. I appreciate your call, Frederick. Thank you, man. Take care.
All right, Hank. Sorry about that. Bye.
No worries. Bye. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. I think we got the points that you guys are on. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Guys, we're past the top of the hour, but that's okay because we had some issues there at the beginning. I will get to more of your calls and some more stories. There's a story of the New York Attorney General that I want to get to. But it's time for some music. It's Soul Junk Sunday. Continuing into Monday. Everybody loves Mondays. This is K.I.N.G.D.O.M.O.G.O.D. from the 2000 album 1956. Hope you enjoy it, you musical Philistines. You can cover your ears, press mute, go outside, shovel snow, rake your leaves, plant your garden, harvest your crops. I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2. Hang tight. Soldier.
Straight high, the microphone in my direction, char. So I'm like Department of Corrections, why? Cause I represent the resurrection, woo! Flowing in the goddamn connection. The microphone in my direction, char. So I'm like Department of Corrections, why? Cause I represent the resurrection, woo! Flowing in the goddamn none of y'all can speak so uniquely. Oblique, see? That's how we come in, watch me beat these red line meters like we med fly skeeters, causing head fry fever. Hope y'all deadline beaters, cause I wouldn't watch you reaching the ER too late. Caught victim playing chicken streetcar called Hake. I come straight and rush the front lines with the plate. Push up the peacemaker, set free for Christ's sake. I will shake, and so will our heaven give birth. In these last days, the kingdom come with earthquakes. I make dust, and trust my God will break any preconceived possession that you all might take. Straight high, pass the microphone in my direction, child. So from like Department of Corrections, why? Cause I represent the resurrection. Woo! Flowing in the God-Am-O connection. Pass the microphone in my direction, child. So from like Department of Corrections, why? Cause I represent the resurrection. Woo! Flowing in the God-Am-O connection. I make tracks to bubble back, deep action. The hard ones ain't associated with your rerun. You sleep one segment, wake up in traction. For seasons, I packed them for your series lacks them. I wax one record on the level of the spirit. The real know the deal, but the phony ones will fear it. I smear it at the top of the charts to get you open. The heavy yoke is now been broken. So what you smoking on can't cope with my scope unfaded. Religion was your opiate, I hope you translate it as K.I.N.G.D.O.M.O.G.O.D. Step free, go deep, straight. Pass the microphone in my direction. So from like Department of Corrections, why? Cause I represent the resurrection. Woo! Flowing in the God-Am-O connection. Pass the microphone in my direction. So from like Department of Corrections, why? Cause I represent the resurrection. Woo! Flowing in the God-Am-O connection. The microphone in my direction. So I'm like Department of Correction.
And this man,
I represent the resurrection.
the resurrection, he's twice. Isn't this kind of fun? Hey, this music stinks. What the heck is this? So fun. Yes. It's Christian, guys. Thank you for bearing with me through the beautiful music. Hope you enjoyed it, you musical Philistines. I have with me my fellow hosts on the JLP network, Joel Friday TV and Nick, the American anchor baby. What's up, guys?
Hey,
good morning.
what's going on?
Did that guy say "goddamn" in that song?
No, because he's a Christian.
I was about to say.
That was Glenn Galaxy.
I might have to steal that song and use it for like my outro or something. That's
Nice.
so good.
Yeah.
Is it
Goddamn.
copyright?
Yeah, it's copyrighted.
Oh.
I think it is. It's Soul Junk, and it might be distantly copyrighted.
Hassan, Nick, and I had to remake another one.
Distantly copyrighted.
Yeah. Kind of catchy, though, right?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Christian
like
hip hop, trip hop, whatever it was.
Nice.
Trash can music is right.
Hater.
Yep. So what are you guys going to be talking about on your shows? You guys got shows
You
today.
mentioned that airline thing. I kind of wanted some more details. You know, they found that door. They even found a phone of someone who flew out. Like, pretty sure they found someone's phone.
Someone's phone flew out. The person didn't fly
Yeah,
out.
something like that.
Okay.
I'll have more details just because, you know, the algorithm likes to feed me airline.
Indeed, it does.
Airline. Or maybe it's just that I just see it more because I'm more focused on
It's a
airplane
reticular
stuff.
activator.
A little bit. I really don't know what'll interest me. I feel like there's so much. I might just go stream of consciousness, but
Right on, man.
legitimacy of Trump. There's some interesting stuff. I might even go hard on the Indians and Africans a little bit, especially if Yu's name
India
is around.
Indians?
The India Indians.
Okay.
There's a lot of talk about them recently. I don't know if you've seen.
I saw some tweets, some posts from Big Bear, Owen Benjamin,
Yeah.
who's been on the Jason Lee Peterson show.
Yep.
He was talking about They don't seem to be humble, and they're not that nice actually.
Well, he's going hard on them, and there's some Indians who are pro free speech saying he should stop and they should ban them. I'm like,
really?
that doesn't sound very American a little bit. And I have a lot of experience with this growing up with so many Indians in Canada and all that.
Right.
And it's just not racist to say. All my friends told me this. The first thing that hits you when you get off the plane in India is the smell of feces.
Man.
That's just a fact.
Wow.
Wow. You have a nice sweatshirt
Yeah.
on.
Check me out.
All thoughts are all lies all the time.
Nice.
From the JLP store. It's a great design, man.
It's like the thoughts. A wall of thoughts.
Yeah,
But
indeed.
they're all lies. Don't worry.
That's
and Jesse
true.
reminds you that right here in the middle.
Yeah, and looks like he's thinking.
Nice.
That's cool. So the legitimacy of Trump, you mean as a candidate?
Well, it's something that's always been questioned, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'm going
He's not
on,
a legitimate president. Yeah,
which is pretty significant when you
He's
put
like
it
the
in
most.
context.
Yeah.
That he really is a real challenge to, what do you call it, the establishment and stuff. I'm not too knowledgeable. I wish I was, but
Yeah.
just a little teaser. If you go on Google, you're being primed. It's crazy. I just Googled Trump, Colorado. I'll tease it. I'll tell you guys what I found after I Googled that on my show.
Okay. Nice. How about you, Joel?
Well,
What
that
you talking
definitely
about?
sounds like a lot more exciting than what I'm even talking about. I should have went first. But I'm gonna talk about. Well, I think I'm gonna talk about the best thing in my belief that a man can ever do, and then the worst thing a parent can do. So I was watching a Katt Williams thing, and he reminded me of something too that was interesting about the best thing that a man can do. So I'm kind of gonna get into that, and then just tell a little bit of background to my story of how I grew up a little bit and how it relates to topics. So, yeah, nothing too crazy, but
That's not
Yeah.
flashy, but that's something that people can relate to.
maybe so. Well, hopefully.
Katt Williams, he's that comedian guy, right? He has like long hair. He's black.
Yeah, he did a major interview. Like, I don't know if it was last week, maybe Hassan knows, but it was like deep. And a lot of conservatives are actually backing it too, because he just made a lot of like real, like manly, solid points. And you don't necessarily agree with everything, but you could just tell that he just came from a real perspective, even on the black stuff, and his opinion was just like shocked me. So
Interesting.
yeah, it was a deep interview.
He's been around for a long time, right? Isn't he? Hasn't he
For a
been
while.
around for like 20 or
Yeah.
30 years or more?
And even he was doing comedy even before that, like 10, 15 years. So he's been around for a long time.
What is he in his 50s or 60s or something?
I would say
50s.
like probably late 40s, early 50s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay, so he's
he's
not
up
that
there.
much older than like me.
No, yeah, he's not. But
I got to look this
He's
up.
got
he
this.
looks older though, like way older than you.
He's got that-
K-A-T-T.
He's got that like distinguished, educated pimp way of
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
50.
Like that lady,
Yeah.
that
Okay,
individual
so
over there, lady, that
Yeah.
I do say
Yeah.
is a slut. Something like that.
He
Okay.
does talking that way. He's actually like a very smart, like Nick said, educated person. Like they tried to get him in college at 7 years old.
Wow.
Like he was an insanely smart kid.
Yeah.
And just so many things that we didn't know about because he never really spoke about, or I haven't seen much about it. But
Yeah.
he was very interesting.
Had you followed him much before this, or just kind of vaguely aware of him?
Vaguely
always?
aware of it, but just because of the entertainment side of things, but never this deep because he was asking questions. He was asked questions on the interview.
Yeah.
That I was just like, why hasn't this been? But he's just not that type of person. He's very private, and which is like a good thing.
True.
You know, he's not into putting his business on the internet. He's not into telling everybody about these things.
Right.
And he got into all that, and it was just deep. So,
Okay, right
yeah.
on, man.
So you
you
took
know,
like a
I
GDS
listened
test?
to that whole podcast. I actually
one?
happened to listen to it.
The Katt Williams one?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
He was on the Shannon Sharp
Shannon Sharp. Yeah.
Shay
yeah.
something room, the Shay room.
The Shay Shay Club.
Okay.
Club Shay Shay. Yeah.
And Shannon Sharp, that was my first time really listening to
Me too,
him.
me too.
Other than, because he used to be on Fox Sports, or maybe is, co-hosting
Yeah.
with the white man, sort of white
Yeah.
old guy, who used to co-host with
There's a lot of racial
Stephen A.
animus
Smith.
there.
And so I didn't really used to really respect Shannon Sharp, but I know
Yeah.
that he was a big
Right.
football player guy,
Yeah.
and now he's a host, and he did a nice job talking.
Yeah,
with
talking
him.
to him. Yeah.
And it was
He let him say those things.
right. He
which
just
was
jumped
great.
in and went in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. I have a lot of respect for both of those guys now.
Yeah. Very honest.
I listened to it because American Anchor Baby was canceled on Friday.
Yeah.
Normally, I catch what I can on Friday and then listen to his whole Friday show on Saturday on my drive.
Thank you.
And so I wasn't I didn't have anything to listen to.
Something
but I saw it. It was suggested to me on YouTube because Cernovich had tweeted that Katt Williams podcast is going so viral. I'm hearing it bumping outside windows at the stoplight.
Yeah.
So it had like 29 million views.
Yeah, I think it's like
in
over
like 3
30.
days now.
It's over 30 million views now. But
Whoa.
yeah, what'd you think about it overall? You just thought it was.
I thought it was quite interesting hearing that man talk about how he lives, how he was raised, Jehovah's Witness, and then he went into his own mind, quote unquote, as everybody does.
Yeah.
And tried to preserve his integrity as he sees it.
Yeah, as he sees it. Exactly.
Raising kids and never marrying and helping people out, staying friends with these people who are on the outs, and it was
very interesting.
I had no idea about maybe 80 to 90% of the people and movies and productions that they were talking about.
I know.
But yet it held my interest.
I know, yeah. That was the thing. It was
I
very
vaguely knew that
insightful.
Friday and these other sequels were a movie.
Yeah.
I know that Ice Cube is a person, or Cube is probably Ice Cube.
Yeah.
And I know Dave Chappelle. I know of Steve Harvey a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't know these other two guys that he was going after.
Going to it, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Terry Crews, I'm familiar with.
You know Faison Love?
Faison, I'd never heard that name before, knowingly anyway.
Okay. You probably seen some movies he's in.
But
Elf,
it was very
he was
interesting.
Elf. He was the office owner or the store owner in Elf.
I haven't seen that movie. Is that the one with Ferrell?
Yeah, Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bunch. Who's Your Cat? There's a bunch he's played in, but
Okay.
yeah. And then the other guy, the Santa Claus, which was a big thing. I forgot his name, but you probably know who he is too.
Is that the first guy he went after really hard?
What's the name? Ricky Smiley. There you go, Ricky Smiley.
You went after him really hard right off the bat after
Yeah.
introducing the alcohol that they were drinking.
Yeah.
Sitting on couches across from each other on the table.
Yeah, to be honest, I was just shocked to see, in my opinion, how grounded Katt Williams is in general. Just
doesn't do hard drugs except for pot and nicotine.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, just in general, just his beliefs.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, you rarely see like legit comedians who are that grounded. So it's nice to, kind of refreshing to hear.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah.
Joel Friday TV coming on in about a little more than a half an hour or so. 35 minutes or so. 40 minutes or so. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. JLP Radio Network. You can find JLP Radio Network, by the way, on YouTube and IG. And you guys can cross it. It's charming. Oh, yeah. It's. Let me before I get to the super chats, David in Ocala, Florida, wants to comment on something that Mark from California brought up. David in Ocala, Florida, how are you doing, man? Happy New Year to you. What's up?
What's happening?
Hey. Not much.
I gotta make sure I had your volume down. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wanted to comment on a commercial I saw this weekend, but I wanted to say, you know, they call it diversity, equity, inclusion.
Yeah.
They should call it diversity, equity, and exclusion. Exclude the white people.
Yeah, because it's basically DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is lame-o communism stuff.
So am I allowed to name like a manufacturer, or should I just say car commercial?
Let's just start with car commercial, and then I'll ask you to name it if I feel like it.
Okay, so there's this car commercial that they're running, you know, with the games and everything, with a family that's in it, and and now look, I'm not racist, okay? I'm just trying to show you what they're doing, okay? No, I just want to get that straight.
That's
okay?
funny that you feel like you have to
friends.
qualify your statement, even on the Hake report.
Well, it's because I just don't want to come. I mean, it's just, anyway. So there's this car commercial with this little boy who's got a fish in a bucket. Okay.
Okay.
Leaking in the back seat.
All right.
And the father's Hispanic, the mother's black, the boy is Hispanic, but the two sisters are black. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I've never, ever seen that before. I've never, personally, I'm not saying they don't exist.
I think I saw that too.
Mm-hmm.
Continue. Say.
And there's also, and you know what, I think what they're going after demographics, because the whites have already bought these cars for years. The whites is what built that nameplate up, okay? From the early 70s, okay? When they came in, and GM was like, nobody will take us over. But anyway, they became the number one car manufacturer in the world, this company did, off of white people buying their cars. But so now they're not worried about white people advertising to white people. They want to advertise for the minorities because there's so many minorities now to go after that buck.
Interesting. I saw this, and it's like a nerdy looking black man. I say nerdy in that, I mean, he looks kind of artsy with glasses, I think. And then, they're doing all these interracial, all this interracial propaganda in TV commercials. It's kind of feels like it's on purpose and contrived and phony and.
Well, I bought a 75-inch Sony TV about 5 years ago. Now I wish I wouldn't have bought it because it's so overwhelming. When they're spewing that stuff at me.
That's funny.
If it was on a 19-inch, 20-inch, 25-inch TV, it might not bother me so much.
Yeah.
I want to take that TV, sometimes rip it off the wall and just throw it right out in the yard.
Wow.
Okay. Oh yeah. I mean, because the commercials. I mean, it's so out there compared to when I was a kid. I mean, when I was a kid, we had cool commercials like the Chuck wagon. Okay, where this freaking wagon comes running through the house and the dog goes chasing after it, and it was a dog commercial. Here comes the Chuck wagon. Well, those days are, now it's just 5G, come get your new phone, So,
I rarely ever enjoyed any commercial. I did not like commercials. Commercials always annoyed me. That's why I would always only listen to my own music rather than the radio, because I didn't like commercials on the radio. I put up with, and even was able to sing along to some of the commercials during Batman the Animated Series, but the only commercials that I remember starting to like was the ones during the Super Bowl in the mid to late 90s, Budweiser with the frogs. But other than that, I didn't like commercials. I've never liked commercials. But you're right. They're worse than ever. They're disgusting.
They had that pizza commercial where the dog said he loved the guy. Okay, that was pretty cool. But anyway, and now there's a pizza commercial, major pizza corporation.
Yeah.
And see, they used to not be able to do this for the whites. The whites, they got on the whites because they said, look, you can't have all white people in commercials. Okay, there's got to be some minorities.
That's evil.
But now they can have a commercial with no white people in it, just completely all black people.
Yep.
So now I wanted to say something about the immigration thing.
So that was a DEI commercial that you saw.
It was a DEI commercial.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
So we can't. Mark is right. We can't. Our economy can't take this. Okay, but this is worldwide. I mean, this is in Europe. All these people are invading them. And I saw the president of Poland, or whoever, some high up in Poland. He said, "No, we ain't taking no Muslims. We're out."
Oh, yeah. Poland, I've heard is pretty solid, and solid. I don't know if that's a real standard. I mean, if that's true, it may just be compared to everybody else. They're pretty good, but they're not actually that good. Hungary, I've heard, is doing okay. And there are countries that you hear about where people are trying to bring some sanity back. And probably in every country there's somebody. But in a major way, it's happening seemingly, at least with the leadership in Hungary and Poland, I've heard. Maybe in El Salvador, that young man about my age getting control of the crime there. Good job. Brazil, maybe. Is Bolsonaro in charge in Brazil? Or now they have a woman now? They just went opposite extreme or something. But there's countries that are trying to do it right. And we're rooting for them.
You know they want a world without borders, man. That's what this whole thing's about, man. I'm telling you right now. And if they get this one world, money, to where, I mean, think about how rich people are going to get off of that. If there's just one monetary system, that's it. Okay, not the dollar, versus the franc and the whatevers, and I think that's a lot of that. What's that? That digital currency thing.
Oh, like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and stuff like that.
Could be the introduction to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just got one more thing I want to say. People better be careful talking about Israel like they do, because God says that He'll bless those that bless you, and curse those who curse you. And
you know what? I think
God
does that, or you do that to yourself when you curse anyone.
I see what you're saying.
Like it's not just Israel that you shouldn't curse, or whatever Israel is. You should wish all people and countries, I guess, well. God's will be done. Have no ill will and no inner animus toward them. So I kind of agree with you, even though I don't know if they mean, I don't know what this status of this Israel is that's alive today, because it was put together by the UN. Did God use the UN to put it together, the evil UN? He might have, but I don't know.
We talked about this before, but the prophecy in the Bible was that in the last days He was going to bring them all back from the four corners of the world, okay?
Yeah.
Like I told you before 48, they didn't believe that was ever going to happen, so they changed to this thing called replacement theology, where they say the church is Israel, and that's not so. So, it's just, you got to be careful. It's like, here.
But doesn't it say? I mean, doesn't it talk about us being God chose us, the church, the people who are the church? So in a sense, it is spiritual now. Is it not spiritual?
Right. Well, what happened was, since the Jews didn't accept Him as the Messiah, He went after the Gentiles, which He knew was going to happen anyway. There's a parable in the Bible that talks about a man had a party, and not enough people showed up, so he told his servants to go out into the street and bring in the poor and the downtrodden. Well, the poor and the downtrodden are the Gentiles.
Yeah, and even many of those didn't show up.
Yeah, not everybody's coming, man. Not everybody's coming because they worship. They get deceived. That's why when Jesus, the apostle, said, "Hey, what's the sign of your coming?" The first thing he said was, "Don't be deceived." Okay, so there's a lot of deception out there.
That's for sure.
Thanks for letting me talk about the commercials. And
of course.
What do you think about that? I mean, do you think that that's right to just be, just to go to the far other side of the spectrum?
No, it's not right, and that's what people do when. That's what people do. They tend to overcompensate when they think that they see something that they've done wrong or that others have done wrong. They tend to do the opposite extreme or rebel, and usually that ends up being worse than the thing that they deemed to be wrong. My dad never drank, so I'm never gonna drink. But you're still a judgmental, lame-o, silly dude person, So.
Right. All right. Well, y'all have a great day. Thanks for having me on, and take care and have a good week.
Thank you. You too, David in Ocala.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Before I get back to calls, hang tight, callers. 1-888-775-3773. I got to get to this story. This is the one story that I was excited to get to. This Democrat black female attorney general, she's not looking out for NRA supporters. Come on, get out of here. I got that from Bismarcky. Oh, he's just a friend. Psst, come on, get out of here. You got what I need. CNN, Commie Nonsense Network, CNN reports a lawsuit filed by the New York so-called Attorney General, black female Letitia James. I saw her on American Anchor, maybe a little clip of her. Physically sort of a big woman, but just kind of pathetic in my estimation. And I think I estimate correctly. In 2020, she filed it way back in 2020 to dissolve you heard about this probably, the National Rifle Association of America. Does anybody care here about the NRA? Press 1 if you care, 2 if you don't. Press 1 if you support them, 2 if you do not support them, 3 if you don't really care. I'm sort of a 3, although I'm actually a 1 because I am a multiple-time, lifetime member and supporter of the National Rifle Association, NRA, because they purport to support the Second Amendment. The basic right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, is what the Second Amendment says. It doesn't establish the right. It says it shall not be infringed. God gave you the right, and then the people want to violate your rights. I think God gave you the right. I don't know. So she filed a lawsuit to dissolve them. New York black female attorney general who campaigned on getting Trump. Oh, I'm going after Trump. Obvious Democrat, not somebody who, okay, why does she want to dissolve them? Claiming the organization, NRA, violated laws for nonprofit groups, took millions, as in dollars, for personal use, and committed tax fraud. Who hasn't committed tax fraud or taken millions for personal use or violated laws for nonprofits? No, I don't know. Set to go on trial on Friday, Wayne LaPierre, this past Friday, I guess. Wayne LaPierre, whom I respect just on the basis of one line from one speech that I remember him giving. It's a good guy. The way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun, he said, after the December 2012 mass murder by that evil liberal, Adam Lanza, who shot his mother, killed her, and then went to the school and shot a bunch of kids in Newtown, Connecticut. He did a speech because they're trying to blame the guns, right? And so he's protecting the rights of the people to carry their guns. The way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. It's a solution for that situation. The root solution is get rid of this liberalism stuff and bring back conservatism. By conservatism stuff versus liberalism stuff, by liberalism I mean sexual degeneracy and divorce, anti-family, prop up mothers, and subsidize and enable and encourage people to be mentally ill because and on drugs. Adam Lanza was mentally ill on drugs, living with his mother, hadn't seen his father for like 2 years, I think. So that's liberalism. And conservatism, by conservatism, I just mean families, God, men, everybody able to be armed in schools and things like that so that they can protect themselves, not be sitting ducks in a barrel. Ducks in a barrel, fish in a barrel, sitting ducks in a barrel. So right on, Wayne LaPierre. And the other thing that I know Wayne LaPierre from is he used to write for, I guess, Guns and Ammo magazine, maybe a publication by NRA, and that converted a Jewish liberal to be a solid-based Jewish man under Trump. That guy, Stephen something. Bald now, he's in his 30s, or was in his 30s. Married now. Solid on the immigration thing. I'm blanking on his name, but the liberals hated him. And he's just a straight-faced, strong personality, understated guy who just solid Jewish guy. And Wayne LaPierre is part of what awakened that young man. He was the only man standing for the Pledge of Allegiance at, like, I think Santa Monica High School. I started to say Beverly Hills. He alone would stand. So he was a tough guy, not afraid, bold for what's right in general. Nice. So right on Wayne LaPierre, stepping down from his positions effective January 31st. He is the executive vice president of NRA, stepping down. He cited health reasons. So I say chin up, King. They've been going after you a long time. You've done your stint, Wayne LaPierre. And I don't know much about Wayne LaPierre other than those two things that I told you about. But chin up, King. Compared to this evil woman, this civil lawsuit woman, Letitia James, she alleges the current and former NRA leadership instituted a culture of self-dealing mismanagement. Sounds like her. Benefiting themselves, family, friends, and favored vendors. I don't really take up for NRA necessarily. That's why I'm kind of a number 3, don't care for NRA. Neither for nor against. I think they're a bunch of rhinos. Except for Wayne LaPierre, maybe. He seems tough and manly. I like him. Just read it, Hake. Sorry. But you know, like one of the times that I supported them was because I thought I was going to get this awesome little folding knife out of them, and it was like floppy and poorly constructed, made in China. So, would I support you? I didn't get a good quality thing. Because one of my friends gave me a knife, a folding knife from the NRA that was nice, all black. Looked awesome for a wedding gift. I was a man in his I was in the wedding party. One of the men, one of the dudes. I forget what they're called. Groomsmen. So right on. NRA. I thought the NRA made quality stuff, but apparently my brother paid for that one. Didn't just donate a little bit and get a little cheapo, fake, lame-o gift that makes you madder than if you never even got it. Terrible. So NRA they're money hungry, says Greenwall. Yeah. Rhinos, gun owners of America may be superior in their policy stuff and all that. But, they've been around and big, and anything that's big is going to get subverted and less quality, seemingly, oftentimes, because people are corrupt. What does the NRA do? Supposedly they defend the Second Amendment as a lobby, the gun lobby. Well, we pay for them. We pay them to... they're literally funded by us, we the people, right? I bought an NRA T-shirt after this kid wore his NRA Protect Your Right T-shirt that had a M16 or some type of awesome rifle, and he got sent home from school because he had it. He was like a young man in the South, 13-year-old boy, about 10, 12 years ago. So I bought that same NRA T-shirt for myself. I've worn it on the show. The lobby system is a joke, says Irish Repub 84. Yeah, and what can we do about it? I don't know. They need your money to fund Republicans, more like Republicans. Yeah, Stephen Miller. Thank you, spoiler alert. Stephen Miller. There are a number of Stephen Millers, and this one is the younger, thinner, bald now, Jewish one, who, if you know what to look for in the Jew, he does sort of look Jewish, I guess. But as those guys go, this guy's a solid guy, in my opinion. So, that thing rose up in me. Part of how they trick you to support these lame-o conservatives, if they go after, who are like a big target, is they go after them. Oh, if they're going after them, I'm going to support them. Well, I don't know, maybe this is what's good for the NRA. Even though this woman is evil, she's not looking out for the NRA supporters or to uphold the law. She's an obvious Democrat, and what do the Democrats hate more than like the NRA, the Second Amendment, white people, conservatives, Christians, the right to speak the truth and a right to defend yourself. Why did Hake touch his nose? Space Cadet, when referring to like whether you're able to tell if Stephen Miller is Jewish. I don't know. Okay. I got to end in about 10 minutes. So let me get to William in California on the line. William in California, you're live on the Hake Report. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, James?
Hey, good to hear from you.
You too, man. You too. Hey, man, I just wanted to just do this real quick because you're getting ready to close. The electric car, there is no electric car race. As a matter of fact, we're going back to getting those things off the assembly line as soon as Trump comes back. And as a matter of fact, the stock market would be the first thing that would be doing good when he comes back. So also a quick one.
You know what I wanted to say to the whole electric car thing?
We got the gas.
Yeah, we can make our own. Trump.
He tried to force us to get that junk, and it's just gadgets, and you'll never see one in a storm with water up to the door. You ain't going to run. It'll probably short out, probably electrocute you. But the thing is you can't beat the combustion engine. And Porsche and Germany and Mercedes and General Motors, all of them adventured the electric car back in the 1920s, and it didn't work. They said, we don't have a grid strong enough to handle all electric houses and all electric cars at the same time.
Yeah.
We don't have a grid. We already have blackouts.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just not practical.
And my thing is,
you dig what
Trump,
I'm saying, right, James?
Yeah, I totally do. And maybe they'll iron out some of those issues, but Trump is a man of making things work, working with people, working with what you have and making the best out of it, which is a great quality. He's a capable man, able to deal with the situation.
Right,
where electric cars, people are free to get them or not get them. Trump is a man of freedom.
You don't mandate that to them.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
or subsidize it necessarily so much.
All of the 2017s to 2020, those cars are holding value very well because they have a combustion engine.
Oh,
and
okay.
I guarantee you, if me and you take off to New York from California, and the other two guys got a Tesla, you know who's going to get there first by 3 days? Me and you.
Nice.
You just can't beat it. So it's just not practical. Even in the 70s gas crisis we had in early 70s, they didn't even visit the electric car.
They just had us drive 55, and you save a lot of gas driving 55. I've been driving 55. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, just be easy. Be very lento,
Right.
gentle on your car, smooth.
Right. And having an electric grid is just not. It's not practical.
Yeah.
And you're trying to force it on people, and it's not going to work. And Trump's going to come back and straighten that out.
Yeah.
Another thing is that it is absolutely asinine to think that we can just print money. That's somebody that said that. Was it Mark? It wasn't Mark.
No, it was Frederick said that we can. He was not necessarily advocating it. He was just saying that our money system is fake anyway, and so
you can't just print money. And
what he's saying is we can delay the inevitable even longer.
Oh, come on.
That's how I took it. Isn't that kind of true?
No. Hey, you can't print money.
That's what they do. They do print money. They print what they call money.
But you can't just print it like it was brought up. Not like that. It doesn't happen that way. You can't just print money.
I mean, it's not a solution. It's maybe a short-term fix that's kicking the can down the road and making problems worse later.
As usual, Mark just take him and throw him over the top rope.
Indeed.
He knows what he's kind of, he's on it. Mark, it's like you said, they're taxing us into oblivion.
Yeah.
And people that are paying most of the taxes don't complain about it. They just pay them.
Yeah.
Don't you know that?
Yeah, and they.
I mean, don't you know that? The people that
do.
actually pay them do not complain about them. They just pay them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to let you go because you guys are short on time and everything.
Good.
Shout out to the crew.
Nice. Thank you, William. Appreciate you.
There's a show coming up, right?
Yeah, Joel Friday TV. Make sure you follow him on YouTube and click that bell thing so you get notifications if you have a YouTube account. And
Joel, you don't mind if I join you, right?
Yeah, follow him and you can also follow him on IG, Joel Friday TV.
Yeah.
I don't think he minds if you're in his chat and listening and stuff like that.
Yeah, I might call in or whatever.
Right on.
What the show is all about.
Yeah, he's going to be talking about the Katt Williams thing, men and women, and some principles and relate to his life. So it's going to be cool.
What a good interview! What a great interview that was with him.
Yeah, I don't know either of those men very well.
The guy's got 8 kids and he wasn't married, so I mean, his kids are in college. He's taking care of his business. He's not in trouble about nothing. There's no controversy around him. He's just a regular guy.
And he never dressed up in a dress like a girl, like many of these other black people, comedians, silly dude people.
Ricky Smiley and all them.
Yeah.
Entertainers and stuff. I mean.
Well, I don't know that guy, but yeah.
I mean, I like the way you do that when you say you don't know those guys. Like you say, Michael Jordan. I think he played basketball.
Yeah.
They don't catch on to that. The Negroes, they don't. Hey, did the Negroes know that they're getting replaced on the poll?
I think some of them do know that they've been surpassed as the dominant so-called minority.
They're being replaced.
Yeah.
And the people that come in, they're in these big skyscrapers, and they're housed up in there, and they're getting everything: Social Security, food stamps.
Oh. You're saying the illegals, the asylum seekers are in
New York. Wait a minute, they're in these buildings in New York. Yeah, and a lot of them going to be going back, but the taxpayers in New York are paying for that because they voted for it. Just like
it's true.
They're letting towns be more blue than they actually are. These states and towns, you know what I mean? It's like there's saying you want to be blue, there you go.
Black replacement theory. You heard it here first from William in California.
They're replacing the Negro vote.
Yeah, it's true, man.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Be cool, man. Take care.
All right, you as well. Guys, I am remiss in not reading the super chats. Let me read what I can for the next minute, and then I have to end, so I won't be able to read them all. Based America First bought 2 coffees. Joe Obama. Fresh off his undeserved St. Croix vacation. He was in the Caribbean, right? Something like that. Sporting a sunburn after having just been treated for skin cancer, told reporters his priority for 2024 is to vacation again in St. Croix. Croix, however you say it, right? And Republicans need to give him money to secure the border. It costs nothing to stop funding NGOs. NGOs who are facilitating the invasion, by the way. Cut off benefits and travel. Readopt Remain in Mexico policy. Costs nothing. U.S. Constitution Article 4, Section 4 says the government will protect each state from invasion and domestic violence, which, not to be confused with DV, domestic enemies, right? Which elected officials to swear to uphold the Constitution, asking the Supreme Court to allow Customs and Border Protection, CBP, to destroy Texas property, cutting the razor wire, for example. Border control sounds like the opposite of that. Instead of impeaching Sleepy Joe over immigration crime, yeah, exactly. Base America First, that's some clarity for you. Republicans want to impeach Mayorkas, who is a convenient patsy. Yeah. Demon rats secure elections and buy off inconvenient Republicans with cushy jobs. Bill Johnson, Republican from Ohio, is resigning to become president of Youngstown State University, reducing Congress's majority. Bright AOC, Bright in Maze's term, says we wouldn't have any illegals if we just make them legal. George Stephanopoulos, he's Greek, probably not a Christian, friend of the Clintons, interviewed Pelosi, Nancy, nervous Nancy. She said each state can make their own laws regarding the 14th Amendment, completely abrogating constitutional supremacy, actual insurrection. Whoa. Oh, 14th Amendment, not the anchor baby aspect of the 14th Amendment, but saying, oh, Trump did insurrection, so he can't be president. And Nick apologizes for the anchor baby law, I guess. Nancy must have taken her oath of office on a stack of comic books, not the Bible, and swore to uphold her alcoholic stupor. Whoa. She's old, but not old enough to have voted for the Constitution, so she wouldn't know what's in it, or she would know what's in it. Oh, she didn't. You have to pass the law so you can know what's in it. She said that about Obamacare. And that's all the time I have. Oh, my goodness, I blew that. I got to end. I'll have to read the rest of your super chats. I'm remiss. Catch Joel Friday TV next and American Anchor Baby after that. It's Vollmar. Oh, it's Vollmar. It's Vollmar Wednesdays on a Monday. I don't know what I was thinking. This is Beside the Sea from You and Me by Vollmar. 13 or So People Who Need Chances is the album. Adios, America. Bye.
Tide had never felt so small, and you had never seemed so tall as yesterday, together in the sand. I was swimming in the waves, I saw your sculpture, then I heard you call, oh darling, won't you come to lend a hand? Don't you think it's grand? It's a turtle in the sand. Do you think you could help me with the shell? Together we could make a lovely shell. So we drew the features all around with bits of rock and shell we found and kept inside a jar throughout the week. I whispered and you made a sound. Just look at what you've made so proud. It's something here for everyone to see. It's something that I hope they all will see. Beside the sea, from you and me.